Hello, Tyson drivers. I want to introduce you to the 2022 Volvo VNL Tyson style. First thing you're going to notice on the 2022 model trucks, all trucks have a brush guard, bumper guard. In order to open the hood, we first must remove, put down, grab the handle, pull it down. On all Volvo trucks, the hood latch is up in the cab underneath your steering column. Just go ahead and give it a good yank. The hood will unlatch, and we can open the hood from the side of the vehicle. You do not want to go to the front of the truck and grab it from the front. It will overextend your reach. So we're just going to pull up on the fender, give the hood a nice lift. Volvo hood is a nice light hood. Now the hood is open, and inside the engine compartment, the engine is upgraded and set lower at 6 inches for the center of gravity. And in the case of a hard impact on the front, the engine has a breakaway and will drop down to the ground. Breakaway steering shaft, fuse box, disc brakes on the front, as well as disc brakes on the back. And all Volvo trucks has a drop down sway bar. Washer fluid is located here on the driver's side. There is a indication on the dashboard on when you need washer fluid. Outside of the truck, aluminum rims, lug nut, flag indicators. To access the battery box, you want to drop down the flaring. Battery box is underneath, and also the lanyards for the airbags. On this side of the truck, you're going to have your APU mounted up underneath, and you'll have to lower this flaring to get to the access to the box. Fuel tanks are on the back, toolbox. Get an overall view on the back of the tractor. You'll notice that there is hubcap wheel covers. It's all about aerodynamics. It's called flow below. And in behind all the brand new trucks is what they call a halo system. This is an automatic air control system to equalize the air pressure in both tires. Simply put the hubcap back on, line it up, give it a push and a twist. And I recommend, if the truck is out of your view, check in behind your hubcaps periodically to make sure that there is no debris inside the rim seat. Back of the tractor, you're going to have LED lights, the mud flaps, backup lights, and the license plate holder, but there is no plate mounted on the back. Coming up on the passenger side of the vehicle, we have the same components mounted to the wheels. Come on up to the driver's door. Access to the side box, there is a lanyard in next to the seat. Pull the lanyard out, and that will open the side box. On this side of the truck, you can drop down the flaring on this side, and all your exhaust is mounted on this side. Passenger side of the engine compartment, we have our radiator reservoir, fuel filter, turbo, this brake system. To close the hood, just give it a nice little push. Make sure it latches. Now the hood is latched, we're able to put the bull bar brush guard back into place. Give it a nice firm push. Make sure it latches. That's it. That's the 2022 Volvo truck. All LED lighting on the outside. Welcome, drivers, to the 2022 Volvo VNL Tyson style sleeper truck. We're going to go over some gauges, some switches, and we're going to go over a bunch of the dash controls. Now, the Volvo truck has a smart steering wheel on it, but your gauges and everything on your main screen are permanently fixed. But the driver has the option to go into the computer screen and set it up for his favorites. So we have a icon over here, the three dashes and the arrow. If you push on it, it will bring up different menus. So if I wanted to check my vehicle information, push on the center, and then I could scroll down and see different gauges on the digital side. Go back to your house, back to your left button. You can have notices. So if the truck is trying to tell me something, it would be right there. Back to your house. We have a pre-trip assist. So I got an exterior light inspection, light switch, and air brake leak down test. This right here does not keep you from doing a proper pre-trip when we're ready to go. This is just a helpful tool. Back to your house, left icon, truck information, diagnostics, engine oil, general information, and just scroll down on through there. If you ever get into your screen and you think that you're going to mess something up, you won't. Just hit your house button, it'll take you back. And then we have radio controls, volume controls. Now over here on your left-hand side, this is all your cruise control. So I got cancel, resume, on and off. Let's show an icon on the dashboard. Headlight flash, telephone, city horn, air horn, engine jake brake. It's off. Automatic, the computers are taking over. It will apply or even more pressure or less. Then I can go back down to 1, 2, 3, or hold it all the way down for maximum braking. And then back up. Washer fluid, windshield wipers is all over here on your right. Turn signal, headlight flash, high beams over here on your left. Steering wheel tilt telescope is controlled by a foot lever down here on your left foot. If you push the pedal all the way down, you can pull the wheel up and tilt. If you push that pedal halfway, you can actually just tilt the wheel to where you're comfortable sitting behind the seat. That's pretty much it on the smart steering wheel for Volvo trucks. Over here on to your left, next to your key, we have our load lights, and then we have a light check system. Again, this does not keep you from doing a proper pre-trip to check your lights. Headlight controls up here. It's a twist. That's off. Parking lights, headlights, fog lights. This one here is the dimness, brightness on our dash. Our four-way flashers, push back off. Coming back over to the right side of the steering wheel on your switches, we have a sleeper fan, higher, push up, lower, push down, overhead lighting, auxiliary lighting, footwell lighting will come up. This is our four-wheel drive. It is got a safety lock on it. Volvo safety lock is you push up and then push in. Notice on the dashboard it told me right away that it's in 4-wheel drive for deep snow, mud, someplace where we're not supposed to be. Traction control, turn it on, indicated on the dashboard. So we're in that slippery situation. We want to have maximum traction, but we don't need 4-wheel drive. Turn it back off, push it again. Fifth wheel slide, again, 2-stage switch, up, push it down. It will unlock our fifth wheel slide. That way we can adjust our fifth wheel to adjust for weight. And again, it pops it up on the dashboard that it's been disengaged. Push on it, disengage it, lock it back in. Volvo trucks, hill assist. So it's on all the time. It's mandatory. Disc brake system. There's got to be a way to keep the truck from rolling out the intersection. But in the incidents that I don't need it while I'm trying to back up to the dock, push it one time. Hill assist is now disabled. Because what it does is every time that you step on the brake, it locks your brakes down for 3 seconds. That gives you enough time to take your foot over to your accelerator without the rollback. I want to go ahead and turn it back on, hit the button again. Our fifth wheel unlock, there is no indication on the dashboard to tell you that your fifth wheel has been unlocked. But we're ready to get out from underneath our trailer. We're just going to push it up, hold it down, probably have to roll the window down a little bit to hear it click. Once we hear it click, go ahead and get out of the truck, physically get up underneath there, and make sure that the release arm is out where it's supposed to be. Now you notice that there is no Hadley valve button like the older trucks with the little green icon. Volvo has incorporated their own system. I still have the capability of overextending my airbags or deflating them, but it's a 2-stage system. So if I wanted to overdo my airbags, I simply push. Well, no, that's not going to work. So it has a master switch, safety off, engage, up, indicated by the dashboard, and it will give you little icons on how far up your airbag suspension is going. Once it's all the way up, then if we're trying to pull the trailer out that's too close to the other one because we can't get to the landing gear, now we can. Or we're hooking onto a fully loaded trailer instead of fighting the landing gear, we can overextend the airbags and thus take all the pressure off the landing gear. When I'm done with it, I can either hit the master switch or bring the other switch back to the neutral state. Now, I want to get out from underneath the fully loaded trailer. Again, I would hit the down button, but it's not going to do anything because I did not first engage the master switch. Now, master switch is engaged, brings it up on your dashboard. Little icons here will tell you how far down your airbags are at. There is a safety mode on this truck. If you forget to raise your airbags up, back into a neutral state, or you leave them up because you just hooked onto a trailer and your airbags are overextended, it will give you a warning icon on the truck. If you ignore that warning icon, it will derate the truck and you'll be down to about 3 miles an hour. I'm done with it. Just turn your master switch off. If the master switch is not engaged, this one will not do anything all by itself. Transmission controls over here. It's a simple push button. I have reverse, neutral, and drive. To engage the gear, your foot first must be on the brake. Hit the neutral button, release your brake, and we're ready to go. Back to neutral. Now, the M on here does not mean a manual shift. The M on here means manual, but all it does is lock it into place. So if I'm descending a hill, I want to select my gear, hit the manual, it will help lock it into place. Bring your engine speed or your ground control speed using your Jake brake and feathering your brakes. Orbcom unit, simply release, up out of the dash, extend it out of the way. Air conditioning and heater controls for in the cab and your sleeper is right here. Cold, hot, fan control, maximum, or all the way off. If I want my air conditioner on or off, air conditioner on is indicated by the green light, then I can control where the cold air is going. Recirculating air, simply right here. Defrost, hot, fan all the way on for them cold winter nights, and we're ready to go. Well, that's about it on the dashboard of the 2022 Volvo trucks, sleeper style, Tyson style.
In this video, we will show you how to log into your OrbCommon device. What you'll need to do is type your user ID on the line that says Enter User ID, and then your password on the Enter Password line. Tap Login. This will log you into the driver interface. To get to your hours of service, tap the area in the top right corner where it shows a clock and the time you have until your next break. Now you're logged in and ready to set your duty status. To change your duty status, tap the Duty Status box in the top right corner. The system will give you the option to set an off-duty status, sleep or berth, or on-duty status. Let's tap On Duty and then Next. From here you can select from various on-duty indicators. I'll cover what all the different indicators mean in a different lesson, but for now, let's just tap on the first on-duty indicator. Now your duty status is set to on duty, and you can go about your workday. To access your hours of service logs, tap the Three Lines menu in the top left of the driver dashboard. You have two options here. You can look at your hours of service as a graph or as a table. To look at your hours of service graph, tap Duty Logs Graphs. Now you can see your duty graph. You can zoom in and out by doing a two-finger pinch on the screen. To navigate between days, tap the left and right arrows above the graph. You'll also see the day and date next to the arrows. To exit the graph, tap the back arrow at the bottom of the screen. To view your hours of service in a table format, tap the Three Lines menu. Tap Duty Logs Table. Now you see a list of duty status changes that have been made. Scroll up and down to move between dates. We'll cover how to edit logs in a separate video. Occasionally, you'll need to make changes or add events to your logs. Tap the Three Lines menu. Then, tap Duty Logs Table. Tap the Add button in the top right corner. It looks like a circle with a plus sign in the middle. Use the date scroller to set the appropriate date, then press OK. Do the same thing to set the time of the event. Now you're taken to the Details screen. Make sure all the blue fields are correct. Any fields with red text require you to fill them in. In this case, you need to add a location for the event and a remark or comment. In this case, I forgot to log in, so I'll change my duty status from off duty to on duty. Tap the location field and type the location where the event happened, then tap OK. Tap the Remark field and type a reason why you're making the edit, then tap OK. In this case, let's say we forgot to log in. When everything looks like you want it, tap Accept. Now, before you finish, you have one more really important step. You have to save the edit you made. See the green floppy disk icon up in the corner? That's the Save button. Make sure you tap it so your changes get saved to your logs. Let's say you get into your cab and your timers are saying you're out of time. This can't be right since you just got in for the day. You look at your log graph, and it looks like you forgot to set an off-duty status yesterday at 7 o'clock p.m. when you finished working. So your log shows you've been on duty all night. To edit the entry, tap on the Three Lines menu, then tap Duty Logs Table. Locate the entry you want to edit. In this case, we have an on-duty punch but no off-duty entry. To add the off-duty entry, tap the Add button in the top right corner. Use the date scroller to set the appropriate date, then press OK. Do the same thing to set the time of the event. Change your duty status from on duty to off duty by tapping the duty line, then tapping off. The remark field is highlighted red, which means we need to add a remark. We'll tap it and type that we forgot to log off. When everything looks the way you want it to, tap Accept. Remember, you need to tap the green Save button in the top right corner to save the changes. If you forget and try to navigate away from the screen, don't worry. The system will ask you if you want to continue without saving. Tap Cancel, and then tap the green Save button. For this example, let's say you finish driving at 5 a.m., perform a 15-minute post-trip inspection, then go into the sleeper berth for 10 hours to get your reset. When you come out of the sleeper at 3:15 p.m., it still shows you on duty, and you realize you forgot to log your post-trip inspection and your sleeper berth time. To update this, you'll do two steps. You'll insert the post-trip inspection and then insert the sleeper berth time. To insert the post-trip inspection, tap the three lines menu and select Duty Logs Table. Tap the on-duty entry at 5 a.m. Change your duty status to Post for post-trip inspection, and then leave a remark. And tap Accept. Then to add the sleeper berth time, tap the Add button in the top right corner. Ensure the date is correct. Select 5:15 as the time you entered the sleeper berth. Change the duty status to SB for sleeper berth. Tap the remark field and leave a remark. Then tap Accept. Now your time for the day is correct. Drive time until 5 a.m., a post-trip inspection at 5 a.m., and then sleeper berth time started at 5:15 a.m. Let's go one step further and put ourselves on duty for the day. You know the drill. Tap the Add button, select the date and time, change the duty status to On Duty and leave a comment. Then, as always, make sure you tap the green Save button in the top right corner to save the log entries. Sometimes you may want to log a co-driver into the system. At the top of the screen, we already have one driver logged in, named Aaron Rollins. Let's log in a co-driver. To do this, tap the Login button next to the already logged in driver's name. Type the co-driver's user ID and password, then tap Login. The co-driver, Carl Wallace, is now logged in. The co-driver can then set their duty status by tapping the Duty Status menu at the top right of the screen. You can view either person's duty status and hours of service by tapping on their name at the top. Notice how the person's name gets highlighted blue when you're looking at their information. You'll also notice that Aaron Rollins has a steering wheel icon next to his name. That indicates that he is the driver. So, if the vehicle starts moving, the drive time will be assigned to Aaron. However, to have Carl start driving, simply tap on the three dots menu at the top right corner and tap Switch Drivers. Now, Carl Wallace has a steering wheel icon next to his name, and he's the driver. You cannot switch drivers while the vehicle is moving, so make sure you do this process before starting to drive, or, if you've already started driving with the wrong driver designated, pull over safely and switch the driver designation. Let's say that Aaron wants to log out of the system. To log a driver out of the system, make sure you have the correct driver name highlighted in blue. Tap the three dots menu in the top right corner and tap Log Out. If you're in an on-duty status, the system will ask if you want to remain on duty or if you want to go off duty. Select the option that applies. You can see that Aaron's name is no longer listed at the top and the Login button is available. The co-driver has been logged out. In this video, we will review the key components on the main driver dashboard. This area shows which users are logged in. Tapping the Login button allows you to log in a co-driver. This area shows that this unit is running as an ELD, the rule set being used, and your timers. The top timer counts down and shows how much time you have until your next break. The 3 timers on the bottom are unique. Instead of counting down to 0, they count up and show how much time you have been driving, on shift, and on your overall cycle. This area shows your duty status. Tap it to change your duty status between off-duty, sleeper berth, and on-duty statuses. To return to the main dashboard, tap the back button at the bottom of the screen, or tap the back arrow at the top left corner. Below the duty status area is the automatic onboard advisor. It's like having a coach in the cab with you. If you tap the advisor, it will provide you with information about upcoming breaks, drive time, resets, and how to ensure you are in compliance with hours of service regulations. Coaching on other topics like personal conveyance and yard moves may appear if they're configured on your carrier's profile. Now, let's look at some of the functions you'll use at the top of the screen. This is a slide-out menu. It's sometimes referred to as the 3 lines menu because there are 3 lines. If you tap on it, a menu slides out. This menu gives you the ability to return to the main dashboard, view your duty logs as a graph, view your duty logs as a table or list, view any edit suggestions your carrier has sent to you, your daily summary, which is where you can certify your logs, view unidentified driving records, enter load details, perform roadside inspections, look at your profile details, review all events in your logs, and view the ELD user manual. We'll cover these functions in a separate video. Let's close the slide-out menu. Along the top of the screen, you will see the diagnostics indicator, which is the letter I in a circle. If a diagnostic event has occurred, the icon will turn orange, as you can see on the screen. The malfunction indicator is the exclamation point in a triangle next to the diagnostics indicator. Though it's rare, if a malfunction occurs, the malfunction indicator will turn red, as you see on the screen. If this happens, report the issue to your carrier so they can help resolve the issue. The notification indicator is the bell-shaped icon next to the malfunction indicator. When your dispatcher or carrier sends you edit suggestions or other messages, you'll see it indicated here. Finally, tapping on the 3 dots in the right corner allows you to refresh the system, log in a co-driver, or log out. The advisor tile on the home screen gives live advice on how to best optimize your available hours. It calculates the maximum driving time and indicates how long your break needs to be to satisfy hours of service. If you're currently on a break, it counts down all relevant break time counters, letting you know when you've met your break requirement. When you tap on Advisor, it will show you the details screen that shows you the information about breaks, remaining drive time, daily and cycle resets, sleeper berth, and pickup hours. Refer to the Advisor often for up-to-date information on how to stay compliant with hours of service. As a note, if the vehicle's moving, the Advisor details screen is not accessible. Under the ELD mandate, drivers have full responsibility for their logs, and motor carriers cannot make changes directly to drivers' logs. Rather, carriers can suggest edits, and drivers can either accept or reject the edit suggestions. When you receive an edit suggestion from your carrier, the bell icon in the top right of the driver dashboard will indicate you have a notification. Tap on the bell to see the notifications. From here, you can tap on Pending Log Edits and be taken to the Motor Carrier Edits screen. You can also get to the Motor Carrier Edits screen by tapping the 3 lines menu and tapping Motor Carrier Edits. Once you're on this screen, tap the Edit suggestion to see more detail. The edit suggestion will show the original entry, the suggested edit, and give you the option to accept or reject the edit suggestion. If you tap Accept, it will be changed automatically in your logs. If you tap Reject, the edit suggestion is rejected and your log remains unchanged. Certifying your logs is easy, and there are a couple different ways to access and certify your logs. First, when you log into the tablet, the system will notify you that you have logs that need to be certified. Simply tap on the Log Certification Required link, and you will be taken to the Daily Summary screen, where you can certify your logs. On this screen, you'll see a list of logs for each day. Certified days have a green check mark, and uncertified days have a red exclamation icon. All you have to do is tap the red icon for the date you want to certify, and tap Agree. The red icon changes to green, and the day is marked as certified. If you'd like to review a day's log before certifying it, tap Not Ready. If you tap on the blue day link, you get a quick view of the load details for that day. If you want more details, tap the Three Lines menu, then select either Duty Logs Graph or Duty Logs Table to review the logs further. Another way to access the Daily Summary screen to certify your logs is to tap the Three Lines menu, then tap Daily Summary. This takes you to the same Daily Summary screen where you can certify your logs. Last, if you're logging out of the system and have uncertified logs, the system will prompt you to review and certify logs. In this case, I'll tap the three dots menu and tap Log Out. A window pops up asking me to review and certify my logs. I can either continue logging out or tap Review Logs, which will take me to the Daily Summary screen. All of these different options exist for your convenience, so feel free to pick the one that works for you.
Hey drivers, my name is Daniel Tanner. I'm one of the log coordinators here at Tyson. I want to show you a few things about the OrbCom unit that'll help you out there maneuver around a little bit easier so you know where to go, what to do, how to get your job done out there. This unit is a lot more user-friendly than the PeopleNet unit was. It's pretty simple to work. A couple things I want to show you about the unit here. It's a Samsung tablet put in a hard case. Up on the top you have a couple of buttons. You have an on-off button, and then you have a volume button where you can adjust things right there. Once you're on this screen, you notice the little, sometimes they call it a hamburger, it's three little lines. If you touch that, you can get into several things here. Main thing you might want to get into is diagnostics. For some reason your unit's not connecting properly, you'll have all red symbols over here. Once you hit Restart BT5 comms, it'll count down for about a minute and it'll try to reconnect everything. It usually turns green. Mine is red right now because I have the box unplugged. I'm going to hit the little back arrow right here. It takes me back to this screen. There's also a hard button down below that. Let's say you get into several screens, you can't get back to where you want. You can start over from the beginning by hitting the hard button. Always hit that blue tree right there and it'll take you back in. But while we're on this screen, I want to show you a few other things. Like if you need to know where the information is, how to work the unit for the officer, those are located down below in those PDFs. We're going to go back in the unit by hitting the blue tree. Also below this little hamburger symbol, there's a settings and a power on and off button, and you can also do a restart there. You can barely see them, but if you select the settings button, you can turn your display brightness up. And if you're familiar with PeopleNet, you had to request logs to receive some information. You may have to do that on occasion on OrbCom. You'd select where it says Refresh DB, hit the arrows on the right, and then select OK. And it'll force a call to go through. Down below the power button, that wants to log out. I think you have to do that from the top. Okay, back to this screen here. You notice you have four tiles here. First one is GPS. It's not currently turned on. If it does come on your truck, it acts more like a car GPS, so don't pay any attention to that. Top right is how you get into your hours. Bottom left is where your loads will come in. You'll select your loads. The loads will show. As you arrive a customer, the geofence will kick in and show that you have arrived. I'm going to hit the back button. Messages. Messages are like text message on any phone out there. You type your message at the bottom, hit the little arrow to send it off. To get to your canned messages, hit the piece of paper on the right, and it'll show all your canned messages right here. I'm going to hit the back arrow to get out of there. Hit it one more time, and I'm back to this screen. Now I want to get into the hours. On this hours screen, it'll show that you have 8 hours to drive. If you notice at the bottom, it's all zeros. This is opposite from PeopleNet. PeopleNet would count down, this counts up. So you can look at how many hours you think you have over here. Look at the advisor on the right. You may think you have a couple before 11 there. Check the advisor. When you check the advisor, it'll give you information like how many hours you have left, PC limit. If you're doing a split, it'll tell you what time you're getting time back. Your duty status will be in the upper right hand corner. I'm on a different setting right now, so it's not showing anything, but I think I can change it. Okay, you notice the duty status is here, and at the bottom it has OK and next. If you hit OK, it'll go directly to off duty. If you hit next, it'll give you the options under that particular status, like off duty, just regular off duty, or PC. If I go to on duty, it'll show yard move. I want to hit the back arrow and get out of that. Top right, you have this bell up here. The bell is colored in instead of just an outline or something that needs to be addressed. You'll select the bell. Mine says log certification required. You can only certify the last 8 days of logs. And what you'll do is you'll touch one, hit agree, and now it's certified. You just keep going up the list. At this time, there's no driver portal website to go to like there is in PeopleNet. They're supposedly working on that, and we'll have something later on this year. 3 buttons on the top right. That's where you go to log out or add a co-driver. If you're going to be doing split braking, or you need to look at your log graph or the table of events, hit this clock over on the left hand side. Duty logs table, duty logs graph. I want to go to duty logs table. If you're going to do a split break, you have to tell the computer what you're going to do there. And I don't have an example to pull up right now. Anyway, you'll see your duty status where it says off duty. Over on the far right, there'll be 3 dots. And you'll touch the 3 dots and a pop-up window will come up. And there'll be an entry on there that says assigned to sleeper berth. So if you've been off duty for 3 hours, you're not changing it to sleeper berth. You're just saying that you're going to use that for split sleeper berth. And once you select the assigned to sleeper berth, your duty status over here where it said off will highlight in yellow, have an asterisk next to it. And there's a floppy disk up here in the right hand corner that'll be green. That's to save it. You'll hit that to save it. If you change your mind for whatever reason, you do the same thing over, except when you hit the 3 dots, it'll say unassigned to sleeper berth. The reason they do this, let's say you took a 3-hour break and a 2-hour break, you can tell the computer which one you're going to do. And then it's going to be looking for the 7-hour sleeper berth later, or the 8-hour. Or if you're going to extend your day some, maybe you took 4 hours off, you assign it to sleeper berth, it'll be looking for the 7 or sleeper berth later. That way it'll clear up any violations. I want to go back to the clock for a minute. If you go down to load details, select that. This is where you update your shipping number and your trailer number. You'll just go touch it there, go ahead and type your stuff in and hit save. And you notice there's other options in here like DOT roadside inspection. Inspect logs, transfer logs, so they can go in and look at the logs. And you just back out of there. As with PeopleNet, if you go hit the police officer button, that's the only information the officer is allowed to look at. To get out of there, it requires your password. So he can't go in there and look at your messages and everything else. He can look at your logs and your events, and that's it. So you have to enter your password to get out of there. And that'll take me back to that screen. I think most of the stuff I showed you there will help you understand the system a little bit better, how to do things. If you have any questions, just give us a call. Thank you.
Welcome to DriveWise Pre-Clear. DriveWise is the nation's largest weigh station bypass service and provides bypasses at fixed weigh stations and mobile inspection sites across the country. When using DriveWise, you should mount your device in the cab, where you will be able to clearly see the DriveWise driving instructions. We also recommend that you connect your device to a power source. This is how DriveWise works at sites participating in the DriveWise bypass service. When you are 2 miles away from a participating weigh station or inspection site, you will receive a visual and audible alert. You will receive a second alert when you are 1 mile away. Sites that are participating in the DriveWise bypass service will be identified by a banner and the words bypass supported on the screen. You will then receive a driving instruction to either bypass or pull in. The bypass screen has a green light and the pull-in screen has a red light. Your chances of getting a bypass are largely determined by your carrier's safety score. Bypass rates vary from site to site and from state to state based on screening rules put in place by state law enforcement agencies, working in cooperation with DriveWise. If a weigh station or mobile inspection site is closed, you will receive a bypass driving instruction. This is how DriveWise works at sites not participating in the DriveWise bypass service. At sites not participating in the DriveWise bypass service, you will still receive 2 mile and 1 mile heads-up notifications. These notifications will have a white banner and will include the words non-DriveWise. At these non-DriveWise sites, you will only ever receive a driving instruction to follow road signs. You will not receive bypasses at non-DriveWise sites. In addition to providing bypasses at weigh stations, DriveWise also provides bypasses at temporary or mobile inspection sites. At locations where mobile inspection sites are known to occasionally operate, you will receive a heads-up notification, just in case a mobile site might be operational. Note that some of these occasionally operating mobile sites are located at truck stops, rest stops, or at otherwise unmarked roadside locations. DriveWise is the only bypass service that can give you a bypass at an operational mobile site. This is how DriveWise works at sites with integrated electronic road signs. At some sites, your DriveWise driving instruction will not appear on your device screen, but will instead appear on an electronic road sign. In these cases, you will receive 2 mile and 1 mile notifications, followed by an instruction to follow road signs. If you opt in to participate in the DriveWise Florida Agricultural Bypass Program, you may receive a conditional bypass instruction. This means you can bypass the ag site unless you are hauling agriculture, aquaculture, horticulture, livestock, or a refrigerated unit. If you are ever asked by law enforcement to show your last bypass command, you can do so by tapping the recall icon. The most recent instruction will be shown at the top of the recall screen. DriveWise is the largest bypass service in the country, with more sites and more states than any other service. But it doesn't provide bypasses at all sites in all states, and some states have specific rules regarding bypass restrictions. So it's important to be familiar with DriveWise's coverage area, as well as state-specific bypass restrictions. Please visit drivewise.com for more information. Thank you for using DriveWise.
Okay, so this is the new red strap that's going to be on the back of all the trailers. This is the way you should find it when you walk up to it. This is what we're going to do. We're going to make sure that we have one. We're going to take whatever means of taking our seal off that we have. We're going to remove our seal. We're going to flip our latch. We're going to take the hook out of the red strap and hook it into the hole that now is there because we flipped the latch up. We're going to loosen our latch. We're going to make sure that the red strap catches the latch. We're going to stand behind the driver's side door. We're going to let the door open. That's going to catch anything that's shifted while we're moving. If there's nothing that's shifted, we're going to make sure that there's nothing on the other side. We can now remove our hook, hook it back on itself, pin back the doors like we should. That's how it should go down the road, and that's how we're going to use the red strip.
To ensure optimal performance and safety in the operation of your Holland fifth wheel, take a few minutes to learn the proper coupling procedures. Holland FW35 Series fifth wheel coupling procedure. Before coupling, be sure that the area is level and clear of people and obstacles. Engage the parking brake on the tractor and chock the wheels on the trailer. If the trailer is loaded, be sure that the load is secure. Inspect the fifth wheel, top plate, and mounting bracket assembly closely. Make sure the fifth wheel is securely fastened to the tractor. Inspect welds and fasteners on the fifth wheel assembly. Replace any cracked components. Do not repair cracks by welding. Replace any missing fasteners and tighten all loose fasteners. Proper lubrication of the top plate is essential to maintain optimal steering and safety. Lubricated fifth wheel models require a coating of lubricant on the top plate with sufficient lubricant in the grease grooves for proper and safe steering. No lubrication is required for the Holland FW31 model, which features Holland's no lube technology. Simply make sure lube pads are in place and securely fastened. Fifth wheels mounted on sliding brackets must be visually inspected. Inspect both sides of the fifth wheel and slider assembly to be sure plunger lock bars are fully engaged. The slider must be secured and locked in the proper position for safe operation. Make sure that the fifth wheel is in the proper position. Check the articulation of the fifth wheel. The fifth wheel must move freely. Ramps must be tilted down toward the rear and resting on the stops. Before coupling, visually inspect the fifth wheel lock jaws to ensure that the lock is open and ready for coupling. If locks are closed, pull the release handle all the way out. Release the optional manual secondary lock if the fifth wheel is equipped with one. If the fifth wheel is air release equipped, pull and hold the fifth wheel release control valve until locking mechanism opens and locks in place. Check the throat area of the fifth wheel to make sure it is free of debris, snow, or ice. Visually inspect the trailer upper coupler plate. The area supported by the fifth wheel should be free of scrapes and gouges. Inspect the kingpin to make sure it is not damaged. Also, make sure the kingpin is not obstructed by a lock or security device. Periodically check the kingpin for excessive wear using the kingpin gauge available from SAF Holland. See the Holland Kingpin Inspection Procedure video for more information. Make sure the kingpin is properly lubricated and the upper coupler plate is free of rust. A light oil rust inhibitor may be applied. If the tractor is equipped with a no-lube fifth wheel, the kingpin will not require lubrication. Line up the tractor with the trailer using the side view mirrors. Be sure the tractor and trailer are in a straight line. Never back under at an angle. You could push the trailer sideways and damage the landing gear. Back up slowly and stop short of the trailer. Do not back under the trailer. Completely exhaust air from the tractor suspension. Engage the tractor parking brake and place the transmission in neutral. Make sure the fifth wheel is below the contact surface of the trailer's upper coupler plate before backing under the trailer. If the trailer is too low, use the landing gear to raise the height of the trailer. If the trailer is too low, you could damage the tractor, trailer, and fifth wheel. When you have proper height alignment, slowly back up, using the lowest gear possible. Stop when the fifth wheel is under the leading edge of the trailer. Engage tractor parking brake and place transmission in neutral. Exit cab and verify proper fifth wheel to kingpin alignment. One of the most common mistakes with coupling is incorrect kingpin to fifth wheel alignment. Proper alignment is critical. Air up the tractor suspension to ride height. The fifth wheel must make complete contact with the upper coupler plate. Never inflate the tractor suspension when the kingpin is above the throat of the fifth wheel. This will damage both kingpin and fifth wheel. If the fifth wheel does not make contact with the upper coupler plate, use the landing gear to lower the trailer until the fifth wheel makes contact. If the trailer is too high, the kingpin will not properly connect with lockjaw. Using the lowest gear possible, slowly back the tractor into the trailer to engage the kingpin and fifth wheel. You will hear the sound of the lock jaws shutting around the kingpin. Avoid hard contact with the kingpin. Connect air and electrical lines and raise the landing gear legs until the pads just come off the ground. Perform a pull test to ensure the coupling procedure has been done correctly. With trailer parking brakes engaged, place the tractor in low gear and ease out on the clutch, just enough to feel resistance and make sure the coupling is secure. If the pull test is successful, engage the tractor's parking brakes, place the transmission in neutral, and shut off the engine. Now proceed with the final visual inspection. Visually inspect the fifth wheel top plate for the retraction of the yoke shaft. The nut and washer should be snug against the front skirt of the fifth wheel top plate. Make sure the pull handle is retracted and is in the closed position. Make sure there is no gap between the fifth wheel top plate and the trailer's upper coupler plate. Go under the trailer with a flashlight to inspect fifth wheel lock jaws. Lock jaws should be completely engaged and closed around the kingpin. If the yoke shaft is not completely retracted, if there is a gap present, or if the lock jaws are not completely closed, the coupling was unsuccessful. If any one of these three conditions exist, you must repeat the complete coupling procedure. For uncoupling procedures, refer to the Holland uncoupling video. Warning: operation of a tractor and trailer with an improper coupling or operation of a tractor and trailer with a malfunctioning fifth wheel could result in tractor-trailer separation while in use, which, if not avoided, could result in death or serious injury. When a successful coupling has been achieved, retract the landing gear using high gear. Secure the crank handle. The coupling procedure is now complete.